Hello, everybody. Welcome to OCHD, and welcome to another In the Room with Trafalgar Law, our yearly podcast. It seems. My name is Scarface King, joined as always by Mr. Teacups.
Hello, friends.
And let's just walk and talk. We're going to be playing a bit of Minecraft while we have our podcast thoughts. Let's try and build houses, okay?
I feel like we do this every time.
We probably do, but that's not that important. So, how was your year? It's New Year's Day. We're recording this. Hopefully, it's going up on New Year's Day as well. How was your year? Good.
That's a very wow. That is like a huge statement. How was your whole year?
Well, I think one thing we noticed while we were planning this video was it kind of felt like it went by quite quickly.
Dangerously quick.
Yeah.
Like, bruh, like we were looking at our Steam games, like our recent play for the year, and there was stuff that I generally felt like I played like last week, and it was like, oh man, that was 8 months ago. What the hell?
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess to summarize a whole 365 days in one sentence, it was a grind. I guess.
A grind. I like that.
You know, the biggest grind I think of the year. Obviously, we're probably going to be talking about our usual, what anime we watched, what manga we consume, games and stuff like that.
Yes.
But I guess if the fans are listening to this and they want updates from us, for me, work, lots of work this year. Same for Robert as well. I had a full year as a software developer. Very weird. I didn't get fired, so that was a good thing.
Hey.
Every single day I feel like a fraud. I'm just making up as I go along, but I think everybody else I work with is in exactly the same position. I also experienced, I think in the beginning of September, promotion for the first ever time.
Let's go.
First time in a job I've ever been like promoted, because back in the Amazon warehouse, you can't really be you can't really go from beginner box packer to like mid-level packer then senior. You'd have to go into like some sort of like management role if you want to do anything else. So that was interesting. Like I think technically level 2 software engineer now, so more responsibilities. It's interesting. And yeah, like just more work. I guess one thing I could talk about, I felt very burnt out this year. By the time I got to December, well, right now, it's the last day of the holiday, I think, for both of us. We're back to the mines tomorrow.
Yes, my favourite.
I just want a bit more time off, I just want to...
It'd be nice.
It would be nice. But no, it's been good. It's nice to slowly progress, just going through things. And yeah, I guess I could say, yeah, it was a grind. How about you, Robert? How was...
I must say, I'm very envious of the... I mean, I guess it applies to a large group of people, like office workers, people at school and that, where it was like, basically, you got off a little bit before Christmas, and then it's basically clean through until New Year, and then a little bit more, and you're good. You don't have to do any more work, you don't have to do anything. That's true and absolute holiday time.
Yeah, true.
Not the case for us. You a little bit more so than me. But we both had to work during that period, and we both have to go back to work fairly quickly. And I feel like it's one of those things where I guess it sort of depends on what kind of job you've got, which you can change. You have the power to change, and I do have the power to change. But definitely, I noticed it a lot during COVID, which was a long time ago now. Like the people branded as like essential workers and stuff like that. It's sort of like, we need you here. It's like, okay. It's like, yes. So come. And then it's like, okay.
Just come.
And then that's it. Whereas like I feel like with some of these office jobs, it's literally like, yeah, I think I'll work from home for a few weeks, months, years. And I'll be fine, and nobody will complain about it, and it'll all be easy. Obviously, those jobs have their downsides as well. You can get like downsized and stuff, and you could job. Whereas with a job like mine, well, yes, I suppose I technically could get fired. They really have no, unless I did something foul, they would have no reason to. like unless they were like shutting the branch. But I've spoke about it before. I work in pharmacy, so while a lot of those are shutting down, like I don't know if you noticed, but Lloyd's is basically gone at this point.
Oh really? Okay.
And Boots are shutting down a lot of branches. They're pulling back. Those two companies, while they are like essentially pulling out from the high street, they still exist as companies and they're still making a lot of money. But they're like working as like wholesalers for medication and stuff like that. So from that perspective, it's like even for the people in those shops that are like getting downsized, they might still be able to get jobs at those companies just elsewhere. So I don't know. I feel like certain types of jobs, it's just sort of a little bit safer, but at the same time, you know, a little bit less beneficial. So it's like, do you want to take a risk or do you want to stick with something safe? And to be fair, I have taken the safe option so far, but because of that, I've had like a bit more flexibility to work on my own personal projects, which I wouldn't have had before. Working at like when I was working at like the Olympics, which was just like a sort of supposed to be like a part-time job type thing. I was literally so exhausted by the time I got home. It would take a whole day to recover from one day of work. Like that's how bad it was. It was just like, it was middle of the summer, so it's like boiling heat, and there was just no way. There was just no way. So, you know, I mean, we'll talk about, I suppose we might as well talk about it now. With Jumputi shutting down, which was basically one of my personal projects, one of the things I was working on, like quite a lot. That website, you know, the database to back in, but also like the news and all that stuff. That was a very much, would you call it a selfish venture? Because I wasn't profiting from it, but it was like I just wanted to invest. That was why I wanted to invest my time in.
Was it like a selfless venture? Like you're doing it?
Well, not selfless, because it's like I was doing it. I wanted to do it, but it was like I didn't really gain much from it. I guess like I gained. It's like I don't know. I gained in some ways, but in most ways I didn't gain anything. But I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But it was so time consuming, and so it was only possible to work on that in that way because I did have a job that was a bit more flexible with the hours, and I could just say like, yo, can, you know, if I drop off a few hours early today, can I like pick them up another day? And it's normally fine, you know. So it's a bit strange to be in a situation where I don't really need that flexibility anymore. And I'm not investing loads of time in that. Like I am spending more time relaxing.
That's good.
Catching up on some video games I really wanted to play, some like anime, manga, TV shows, movies, all things I wanted to watch. I didn't really have time to. I guess I kind of did, but like in the evenings when I get home from work, we'd almost always play like CS or something, and then there's not much time other than that. So I not only have more time, but I've sort of made a concerted effort since then to find a way to make better use of my time. I'm trying to do like an hour before work each day on the like studying for Japanese properly. We joke about it. I don't know Japanese. I straight up don't know Japanese. I know I can read hiragana, I can read katakana, I can read some kanji, not enough. But in terms of speaking the language, I'm very far away. So I'm just trying to not only do like an hour's worth of like study where I can, you know, every day before work, but there are some days at work where it's quiet enough that I can maybe get my earphones out and listen to like a like lesson on Japanese or something like that. So just squeeze it in wherever I can, and see where that takes me. I haven't really set a goal for how quickly I want to do it, but I feel like if you rush these things, you don't finish them.
Yeah, that's fair. Take your time.
Take my time and see where we end up, I guess. I really do want to learn it. A big part of that, and I know this is fucking cringe, but a big part of it is when I was working on the Jamputi stuff, there was a lot of series that really piqued my interest, and it's literally impossible to consume them in English. They don't exist. So
you want to be the guy?
Well, I just want to read them.
That too.
I don't even want to be the guy. I just want to read them. You know, there was one called Majima-kun. It's like a jujitsu manga, and it's quite old. And it's like there's just no way for me to read this. Really, I think someone might have done like a few chapters here and there, but that's it. Another one, Kochikame. That's like 1,000 chapters long, no, more than 1,000. So the odds of me getting that translated and being able to read it, it might not even be worth it in the end. I don't know, but I'm just kind of interested to see if it's any good, and I want to at least be able to give it a proper try. And there's only one way to do that. Well, technically there's two. I could go get a really high-paying job and I could pay someone to do it, but I don't know about that one. That might be sort of diminishing returns. So it's, I don't know. That's one thing I've been very passionate about, that because of Jamputi. That was Jamputi was in some ways aiding it, but generally speaking, I didn't have the time. So we're gonna make time, and we're gonna do it properly. And in terms of, you know, I would say for the first quarter of this year, the Jamputi stuff there's still stuff to do. I really want to make an effort to preserve as much of it as I can, and I've at this point sort of planned it out as much as I think I need to. In terms of content I'd like to make, like looking back on the game, in terms of preserving as much as I can in terms of like the character animations and stuff like that. I've got a general plan of how I want that to go, and so that's just what it's gonna be for like the next 3 months. That could be quite time consuming, but I've rationed out my time a lot better. I don't have to spend hours working on a news post. I don't have to spend hours working on adding stuff to the database and data mining and all that stuff. I don't have to get up at 3 AM for the data download, you know. So it's going to be okay, I think, to actually get all of that done and still have the time to do, like I said, learning the Japanese and enjoying some games and some manga and some anime. And after that, after those 3 months, so I guess technically 4 months because it's the end of March, then that is officially done. And I don't think I'm going to pick up another gacha game in that way. I will play other gacha games, but I'm not doing that again. No shot. And I think that's okay.
That is okay, yeah.
After that point, I'll see where I want to go. You know, at that point, I'll be coming up on my 30th. Oof. So it'll be time to see what I want to do long term. I don't know what that is, but
it's not Jamputi.
Well, it can't be Jamputi. So, well, we'll see. I think professionally there might be some changes, but also like in terms of content and stuff, there has to be changes. I still enjoy making content. I don't see any immediate reason to stop.
Mm-hmm.
That might change in the future, but in terms of what I'm making, I'm thinking about it. I've got a few ideas, but nothing concrete yet. So, speaking of 30ths,
no,
somebody's a little bit older than me.
Yeah.
Hit the mark.
Yeah, Robber's 6 months younger than me. He is a youngster in these books. It was kind of scary, I'm not gonna lie. Hitting 30 in October. 20s are come and gone. don't really know what to make of it. Like, it's generally just, yeah, it's a number. But I think
Was it like that episode of Friends?
it was like the episode of Friends, yeah.
Where Joey's just like, don't take him, don't take him.
It's because, like, I guess everybody puts a lot of pressure on it, you know.
Yeah.
I guess in like society and stuff, and also with our generation, things are a bit different, you know. It's like I went over my parents and over Christmas and stuff like that. You were with your parents and that as well, and it's just like I sat down and thought about it. It's like I'm in such a different place to where my parents were at their age and their parents at their age, just because I can't afford things. Literally, it's like my dad at this point had already had a house for like 3 years, and I'm like, bro, I'm multiple years away from even thinking about it still, and it's like it just feels very, I feel kind of stuck. But yeah, like turning 30 is like whatever. I know a lot of people say you kind of like start falling apart, but those people don't look after themselves. Oh, goddamn skeleton. So yeah, I'm just trying, like, I don't know. I think it's been kind of motivating, to be fair. I'm kind of like, well, I can't really, you know, fuck around that much anymore. Like, if I want to do something, just got to do it. Like, simple as that. So I've been trying to just get involved in a few more things, trying to get back into sport, trying to live. But yeah, no, it was very scary at first. I've kind of come to terms with it now. But I feel like, things need to happen. I feel like I'm kind of in the same stage as you right now. I feel like I'm at a crossroads.
A crossroads, a transitional period.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, there are things I want to get done, so let's do them.
Literally, 100%. So, trying to figure out what to do. I guess the best thing is, I think mentally, if I was still in, say, like Amazon at this point with 30 would have killed me, 100%.
Yeah.
But the fact that I'm in kind of somewhat of a stable career, like I don't feel I feel a bit of comfort in it, which is bad usually. You should never feel comfy in a job. But there's ways of looking at that. But for me, because I'm in a career that's kind of progressing quite well, I'm not really feeling down about that. So that's a good thing. So really, all my goals right now are kind of like the crossroad goals are kind of professional, really, and they're also a few other things in real life. So it's not too bad. Not too bad. I'm curious. I'm curious how you're gonna feel in April. I really am.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, I would say I'm enjoying some simple things in life at the moment. You know, you said about like the house. Like, I'm steadily saving up for a house, but I have come to the conclusion that living in London is
impossible.
It's just impossible. It just can't be. And to be quite frank, don't want to. I feel like London is too overpopulated as it is, and me going and getting a house is not gonna help that in any way. I know I'm already in London, but it's just like it just doesn't make sense for me.
Definitely.
I don't know what the answer to that is necessarily. Like, moving out, obviously, but how far are we talking? And like, when are we talking? I don't know exactly. But like, I have a rough scope of how long that's gonna take, and I'm okay with that. And I'll get there in time. My issue, and I guess my primary concern, is that like in the meantime, I'm living in London, and it's just like everything's expensive, and it like they are definitely not slowing down in terms of knocking down. Like we saw the other day, I was out and there was this place where there was a park not that long ago, and they're building flats. And there was a youth centre, and they're building flats. And there was a parade of shops, and they're building flats. And they're all like super expensive, and it's just like, even if I could afford that, even if I was looking at, let's say like some of those flats were like upwards of 500k for a very, very small flat.
Yeah.
Just because it's kind of near a station. And to me, that's just like, even if I had that money, that's just really not where I want to be. So I think ultimately you gotta go, look, this ain't for me. I gotta look elsewhere. And I don't know how I don't know how far that's gonna be, but I feel like it's gonna be far. Like I have family in Newcastle, and that's far from here. But to be honest, it feels like a better life. I don't know how long that's gonna be the case, but for now, it feels like a better life.
That's yeah. That I find that actually really interesting. Actually, like I agree with like everything you're saying. I think I can't remember if I mentioned this on our previous podcast. But at the housing situation and well, this is the thing, right? So I just came back from my parents for Christmas. I spent 2 weeks over there mainly because I couldn't visit them this year because my parents are quite far away. Like we live in Bristol, they live in the other side of Essex. It's literally coast to coast. It's like 4.5 hour journey by train. So I don't really get the opportunity to see them that much. And I think I've mentioned this before, but my parents moved away like 5 years ago from the area I grew up in, which is like kind of around the corner from where Robert was. And I found myself getting really like mad nostalgic for the area. Like anybody would. You always glorify the good things, but obviously there's always bad things. But anyway, I've barely been to that area since I've left. But this year I actually made a couple of trips back and bruh, holy shit. 5 years difference, nuts. It was literally the same thing you just said. Like, my dad took us to like the road we lived up on. And there's more cars everywhere. You literally can't find a parking space in literally just. This is like the middle of like not even near anything. It's just normal terrace housing, cars everywhere. You got to wiggle in and out. But then flats, as you said, like across the road from where we used to live, beautiful church. Used to play football at. Went to church a little bit as a kid. Now becoming flats. Went around the corner to, I might as well say it's like Epping Forest College, if anybody's ever been there. There's literally a field in front of that used to be protected, but somebody must have bribed somebody because just all flats just gone up really quick. Across the road from that as well, another bunch of flats. And I thought, I'm going to look it up a little bit, see how much they are. And it's like, new build flats, affordable. And you said it was like 400k for a one bed. And I was like,
yeah.
Oh, and it's like a leasehold. You're paying all these fees. It was kind of heartbreaking because it's like, even though how much our generation is trying, it's like, shit. Unless I become CEO of Microsoft, I ain't affording this. Like, I generally, unless I start dealing drugs, unless I start becoming YouTube famous, this is just out of reach. So like, I can sit here and complain, but as you said, it's time to look. It's time to look elsewhere, and I kind of have been. I've been like monitoring like certain like areas around here because like I'm on the Bristol side, so I've been looking at Wales. I've also been thinking like looking up north as well, like Newcastle, even Scotland.
It's far, but
that is far. But the thing is, it's like if you got a decent amount of transport, like at least if you got the train or you've got like plane. Like, if you can get like an airport or something like that, you can always come and visit family or anything like that at some point. And I guess, like the thing is, it's like realistically, it's like how often are you going to be visiting your family like per year? Like I visit my parents like once now, which is bad. Like obviously, if I was local, I'd probably be seeing them a lot more. But I guess for the peace of mind, like if you could go up north and if you get a house like 1/3 what you're paying, down below. And you're getting more for your money, like I feel like mentally you can be a lot better off because, bro, like imagine buying a house in London, then you lose your job, you're fucked. You probably kill yourself.
Well, especially with what you're saying, for like people that maybe aren't from England, they might not notice, but because of the way everything's set up in our country in terms of the rail system, because I mean, if you were that far away, driving down would be a pain. You could do it. But it'd be easier probably to get the train. And the way the trains are designed, like getting up to, say, Edinburgh in Scotland, not too bad from London. And so if you were up there and you just get one train down for London, it's not that bad. But if you were trying to go like across like the country, so say like you were in Manchester, you wanted to get to Newcastle, they're really not that far apart as the crow flies, but they've just made it a massive pain in the ass. Like the way the trains are all designed, it's like it probably takes longer to get from Newcastle to Manchester by train than Newcastle to London. And 100%. The distance is way different. So obviously for us, where it's like if we were visiting back to London, London is a bit more accessible than having to if you were trying to visit
True.
somewhere else. So it's not too bad, but at the same time, you do have to consider the fact that the trains are expensive.
Oh, bro.
So driving is better, but it's long, so it is tough no matter what. But you have to, like, if you're living somewhere that's like half the price, then you probably could just afford the train ticket, right?
Oh, 100%. Like, bro.
Yeah.
Like, man, going to see my parents, like, from like Bristol part way to like London is the most expensive train line in the country. It hurts every single time, and it's shit. It's unreliable. It sucks. I found something really quite interesting. So I went to the Bristol office for my job, and the security team was having like a meetup, and I knew one of the security guys. I knew he's in Scotland. I was like, oh shit, how did you get down? Like, did you take the train? He's like, nah, I flew. It was quicker and cheaper. And I was like, bruh, okay, fair enough. But nah, yeah, like I think the plan will be somewhere up north in the future. Sadly, I don't really personally want to go there. I like this is the thing for me. It's like I rather stay, down south London because it's all where family and friends are. But if you're gonna want to make a dent on the housing ladder, you kind of have to go. And I guess that's the one thing for me, like with my job, like working remote just gives you so much like flexibility. Like I can literally just go anywhere in the UK, which is just so, I think that's been like the massive thing over the past like year and 4 months working here. It's like I've not been tied down by a single location. I can generally, like I was working with my parents for like 3 days. It was just actually so cool to be able to do that. And not being tied down by a location gives me a lot of flexibility of what I want to do. And I've said this before, but it's like I can't go back to ever being forced into an office. I like this life now. This is the better life. And I'm actually sucking at this.
I've just been just basically playing the game normally. I haven't even started building a house yet, so I should probably crack on with that. But yeah, so I think both of us are sort of in that place that we've kind of got used to it because we've had friends who have like moved quite far away. It's like nowadays it's a lot easier to keep in touch. I'm not a Facebook kind of guy, not anymore anyway. But like, people on Discord, we know people, through Steam and stuff like that. It's not as bad as it used to be. Like my parents, there's people from their school they just wouldn't remember at all. It's just been so long. But like, whereas us, it's like those people are still sort of, not all of them, but like, some people are still very much in your head just because
social media.
I haven't seen you in years, but I spoke to you like not that long ago.
Yeah, true. No, 100% true. Also, I guess this is something. I guess everybody has a different answer for this, and it's like when you go to an area or like you define an area, and like people are like, like there's not a lot to do, and I always question now, and like I guess what I'm getting at here is like obviously if you go to London, there's a lot to do. If you potentially go up north, there might be not a lot to do, but it really depends on you as a person. Because for me, it's like I'm like I just want to do sports, and if you go up north, you're probably gonna be able to find sports and stuff like that. That's what I find fun. It's like and you're like I think this is a really weird thing. Who was I talking to? I think my parents they were complaining about the area they live in. There wasn't a lot to do, but I was like, well, if you go down and you've had something to eat, you've had something to drink, 99% of places you can't really do anything, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like I was in the center of Bristol the other day, and like the center of Bristol is like, yeah, it's really nice, and I'm sure a lot of people would love to live here. They'd think it's like an absolute ton of crap to do, but it's like walked out and I was like, all these businesses and that here. If you've had food, you literally had drink. There is nothing to do here, like at all, and you're paying for the privilege to live here. I don't know. Maybe that's a really weird thing to talk about. And maybe some people don't really agree. I guess some people like the hustle and bustle of it. Oh, bro, when we were in London the other day, holy fuck.
Like I can't lie, I hated it. Like going up central London, it's like sort of like as long as you're not working there, it feels like a sort of occasion. It doesn't take me long to get there from where I am, but at the same time, when we get there, I hate it because it's just there's too many people, And what do I actually like other than meeting people, which technically we can meet somewhere else?
Yeah.
What am I here for? Expensive restaurants, the food's not really so good that I feel like it's worth doing it. Plus, the shops are like, I mean, any of this stuff I could just get online.
Yeah, 100%.
So, good. It's a bit strange to me because I'm just like, why am I here? I don't really know, but it is just so we can like, you know, meet friends and stuff like that, and that's nice. That is nice, but I feel like I'd be perfectly content doing that in any pub on the roadside or anything.
Yeah, 100%.
So I'm really like I'm not yearning to go back up there anytime soon. I think I think I said to you the last time we went up there was when we met Boris Anime.
The man
in London, and that was like a year and a half, 2 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah,
that was good because we got to meet him and we hadn't seen him ever. It was our first time meeting him, and that was cool. But I had no desire to go back up there to do something else. That for me, that was like that was great. I'm probably not going up there again unless it's meeting somebody.
100%, definitely. Gotta miss him.
Yeah, that was good. We haven't really like networked that well on YouTube. That's something I think we've got to improve in 2024. You know, there's we've got a few loyalist fans, and we love them. They come to the streams. They come, well, your streams, not mine. I don't stream. They come to YouTube and the comments and that. And I was surprised. Like I uploaded yesterday, like Pokemon Masters, which is very like it's a gacha game, sure, but obviously this, compared to what we've been uploading recently, which is just Jumputi, it's very different. But like people seemed pretty on board with it. The response I got was pretty good. I got some people in the comments and in Discord like saying, oh yeah, you know, if you need any tips, if you want any help, that's cool. And it's like that's something I can maybe do some more videos on. I don't know. But it would be nice if we could sort of expand a little to maybe do videos of other people, other types of content. What that'll look like, I don't know. But I mean, we already did a few videos with what's his YouTube name officially? Mr. Meta?
Yeah, Mr. Meta, the one.
The one. Alex, who, to be fair, the shorts are very funny. I think we've got one on our channel, but he's got some shorts. We should probably link in the description, like, some of the videos from his channel. So people can go over there, check that out, and subscribe, because we have been in a few of his videos. Playing a bit of Lethal Company. Fun game.
Very fun game.
With the mods and stuff, a little bit of banter. But yeah, I think if we could potentially expand upon that more, not just with him, but with other people, try and make some more content. I'd quite enjoy that.
That's very positive thinking. I think that should be the good headspace for 2024. Yeah, no, 100%. I felt very, very bad this year in terms of content creation because Robert basically carried OCHD. He is OCHD. He is the man. It was the Jumputi channel. Because I don't know if anybody remembers, because they probably don't, because they probably don't watch our content. But for 2023, going into it, I was like, you know what? I kind of need to I kind of just need to stop gacha games. Mainly because at that point, I wasn't really enjoying any of them. I really, like Cookie Run Kingdom, I kind of played to death, and there really wasn't anything else that, at the time, you know, was really gripping me. I know, obviously, there was Jumputi, but that was kind of like your thing, your game. I saw it as a decent game, but it just really didn't get me going. And there was another gacha game that I was like, well, the one gacha game was always Ori Collection, but there was kind of nothing that I wanted to make a video on. And I think I might have said this before. I tried to make videos like early last year and that, but like on gacha games and stuff, but the content was just shit. Like I made a bunch of videos and I was like, I watched it back and I was like, there's no passion. I don't care about this game. I don't look happy. It was like watching an Atsu video. No, I'm joking, but it really, I'm not calling man out. It really was just, I just found it's bad content, and I was like, I'm not gonna upload this because it's just a waste of everybody's time. And yeah, I tried a couple of gacha games throughout this year. I think I tried. Oh, fuck me. I might be getting confused with the year before now. Everything is just merging into one big mess. I think I think that Nikki Goddess Victory game might have come out this year or the end of last year. I tried that. Degenerate piece of trash. I cannot support. Like, I made a video on it and I just deleted it because I was like, I cannot support this. This is just disgusting. Played the Blue Lock game. Absolutely disgusting. I played a couple of other ones. I can't really remember what they're called, but I think they've already shut down already. That seems to be the theme of gacha games this year. A ton of them shutting down. So it's kind of hard to really support them. And I guess for me, going back, circling around, I felt really bad because I felt like I couldn't really produce any content for the OCHD channel that was like gacha based. So it was more trying to do, you know, the other channel like UCHD. But I feel like we're also still in the process of feeling that channel out, like giving the fans, like, what actually do you want? And I don't think anybody actually knows what they want when it comes to content. But we've been having a lot of fun with that. Oh, goddamn fucking zombie. And I've really enjoyed making the videos on that channel, actually, to be fair. I think it's kind of rekindled a bit of the flame for making content. Like, we've actually really, surprisingly, apart from Christmas, because I was away from keyboard, I think we've like just done like every recording session every single week, which has been nice.
Yeah. We tried to do 2 a week, and I mean, there were times when we just both turned up and we were like, "Yeah, I'm tired. I'm tired. Yeah. Let's play CS or something." But no, we have been trying to stick to it, and I think having a better plan, which is one of the things I've been really trying to do. Yeah. Like I made a list of like video ideas and stuff, and the quiz videos are easy, and so some people will see it as just like, oh, it's just, you know, they're just like farming out trash content. But we really do enjoy recording them. They are really fun to record. But if that's not what people want to watch, and some people are watching, some people aren't, I'm gonna try and spice it up a little bit. What that exactly looks like, still not 100% sure. The Pokemon video potentially we're going to try and do, which again is like a bit different from what we normally do, but like the Pokemon Soul Link, we've recorded a little bit of it and we've enjoyed recording it. I think the content's pretty good so far, but it's going to need some editing, so
that's the hard bit.
we'll see how that goes. I mean, editing's definitely the thing that we've struggled with the most. Sadly, we do not have the capacity to be bringing in professional editors and stuff like that, but you know, one step at a time.
Of course.
And you know, we're gonna try and play more games, more interesting games. We're gonna try and make some more content that's like broad appeal, and we'll see how we get on.
Yeah, I think it's literally just throw as much share of the war as we can and see if anything actually like sticks to it, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're not like it might seem like we're sort of pigeonholed into a certain type of content because that's what we're uploading at the moment, but I feel like it's still early days, and there's no reason to be like, oh, we can't upload that on this channel. And the whole point of UCHD is just to upload whatever you want.
Definitely.
What works. I feel like with OCHD, things are going to have to change a little bit, and I'm not sure exactly how that's going to look, but we've got a few months of Jumputi sort of, the word exactly, like the end of days. We've got like those 3 months, and I think during that time we'll think about it, we'll discuss it, because I still enjoy doing some gacha game stuff, but I can't go back to doing like having 50 games on the run at the same time trying to save up gems.
Definitely.
And I'm not gonna like start wailing on any games because I don't.
They're just gonna shut down.
Well, exactly. They're gonna shut down, and like, say for example, Pokemon Masters, which in theory has infinite possibilities for the future. I don't want to invest a shitload of money on it, and you know, Jumputi in theory shouldn't have shut down, and it did. So that game in theory shouldn't shut down, and it might. And then what? So I don't really want to do that. I did buy some packs for the first, like...
Oh, you naughty boy.
They have some crazy packs for, like, if you're a beginner. So I bought that. But other than that, it's not happening. So we can't really be doing summons, like, every week or whatever. I still play Kotodaman a little bit, but... We can't go back to being just purely gacha game.
True.
It's gonna have to get a little bit spicy.
But if they just release one good gacha game, I'll come back.
All right, well, keep on
Good, like
waiting.
you're never coming back. That's fair. Like, oh, we did make one gacha video together this year. We did the anniversary on One Piece.
That's true. That is true.
That was fun, but sadly we can't do that every week because it's not an anniversary every week.
Yeah, and I've got to be honest, OPTC, I feel like I lost a lot of love for it. In terms of gameplay, I'm not a big fan anymore. I feel like gacha games at a certain point kind of need to die because it just gets too involved. It gets too complicated. And it's like, think about how many debuffs there are in OPTC and how many like things you have to learn how to counter and stuff. In the past, you could walk in and it's like, oh, I wasn't here for like 6 months or whatever. Who's the best new unit? Summon for them and I win. But now it's gotten to the point where it's so complicated. If you started a new OPTC account now, how long do you think it would be before you're able to beat the hardest stage in the game, whatever that is? Like how many months or years would it be, and how much investment would it be for you to get to that point?
Well, I guess, yeah, because they've logged all that limit breaking behind like treasure map and shit like that.
Yeah, the key, which you could, I don't know if they've changed it, but the last time I played, you could only get it from like treasure map or whatever, and it's like,
yeah, that was it.
That's a huge time investment, and you can only get like 1 or 2 or something. And it's like, how many characters have that you might need to use it on in order to actually get the most out of them, actually beat some of these stages? It's
100%.
It's kind of a paradox almost. Like, it just can't be done. It's just eternal. And I'm not interested in that. I know you might say like, oh, you should just kept playing in the first place, but no. Same with Dokkan. No, not really. And those games will probably never die. Even in my opinion, they've already run out of content, and they're just. It's like, oh, we've done Yamato. Let's do Yamato again. We've done
bigger boobies.
We've done Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Super Saiyan 4 Goku again, and like, I just don't really vibe with it at all. That's why I like Jump Fury so much, because like I said, yeah, obviously we did rehash in some ways, but for the most part, the possibilities were endless. They could have literally just gone on and on and on and on and on. And we could have had like new content, new series, new everything every single week for like years and years and years. But Jump Fury also got into that position where things got too complicated, you know, when they introduced Gear 5 Luffy, and it's like, oh, he broke the meta, and it's like, yeah, but like before that, they released Mike Guy, and he broke the meta, and you know, before that, there was always like strong characters, but not necessarily like broken, I wouldn't say. But the reality was those those sentences on the skills were becoming paragraphs, and those paragraphs were including all sorts of conditionals and all sorts of like different things you had to consider when building a team. And it's like, obviously with a unit like Gear 5, it didn't matter because he was so strong. Even like somebody who was brand new to the game and didn't know what was going on was just like, oh, I just click attack and I win. But that doesn't work moving forward. You can't just release every new unit is I click this button and I win. And obviously it's the end of the game, so it didn't really matter that much. But like for games like OPTC, it's just it's gotten past the point of I can just log in, play the game, and oh, I just have to do this. Like back when we started, it was like, oh, I need some like turtles to level up. Let me do my turtle time, and that was about all I needed to worry about in terms of strengthening my characters. But now there's so many different items, and like when I log in, I don't even know what half of them are, and the UI is so like outdated, and it just doesn't feel right. So yeah, in a sense, I do think gacha games kind of have to die. They have to have like, or you have to be so careful in balancing it throughout the game's life cycle.
Oh, impossible.
Or you have to find a way to like at least not make it too complicated. Like even if the units are too strong, you can make the other units stronger, or you can, you can introduce something to sort of balance it out again, but just keep it as simple as you can. And I basically haven't seen any games actually pulled off successfully. OPTC and Dokkan are just being carried by the fact that they're One Piece and Dragon Ball. That's it, really. Like I can't, can you think of any other games where it's like they've been about for time and they're like still cracking on and it's not too complicated, you can just jump in and play?
Like most of them are shut down.
Most of them are shut down.
Yeah, all the ones I actually cared about. I try not to follow gacha game communities anymore because it's usually just cancer.
That's fair.
I can't imagine how that Seven Deadly Sins Grand Cross game is doing right now. It's probably like 48,000 Meliodas and stuff like that. And I imagine paragraphs.
That game of all games sort of feels like, oh yeah, just, it's basically an actual game, not a gacha game, but that's not the case. But that's how it sort of felt when it came out. It's like this big open world. But it's still going to have the same issues where it's like, oh, you introduce this character and it's like, oh, they've got this passive and that makes that happen and blah, 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 so on and so forth. And if you're not prepared to balance that moving forwards, you're basically giving the game a death wish, it feels like to me. So I don't know how long that game has, but probably quite a while. They've got a lot of collabs under their belt and stuff like that. But yeah, I think the only games that are sort of immune to it are games where it doesn't matter, which are not even really gacha. Like something like Fortnite, it's not a gacha game, but but it's got like anime, skins and stuff like that. For me, that's a game that can literally just last forever. Like if they're smart about it, which it seems like they are. They've essentially turned it into its own platform. Like they're, making new game modes for it, and they're opening up like the creator tool so other people can make awesome content for it. And I think that can just last forever. And you might say that's good management. Maybe they just got lucky. I don't know. But there's definitely a lot of games nowadays where it just feels like you've not quite got this right. And gacha games are particularly susceptible to it, which is why it's so bad. A lot of them follow that like FIFA model, where it's like, I'm going to milk as much money out of you as possible, and then I go away, I disappear. And with FIFA, you know what you're getting into, because it's like, yeah, the new one's going to come out next year, and I'm going to lose everything, and that's fine. And if you at that point buy FIFA points, then that's on you, realistically. But in the case of the gacha games, they're not that upfront with it. You don't. Yeah,
they act like they're always going to be around.
They like, even with Jumputi, like they were talking about like the roadmap until the 6th anniversary. They put the 6th anniversary on there, even though they knew the contract with Lion ended before that. So you might argue that they were like, oh, maybe they were trying to sort it out or whatever, which is possible. But to me, it seems a little bit like they did know and were somewhat unwilling to tell us what was happening. And now we have nothing. Anybody that invested, you got nothing. That's just how it is.
Damn. You know what? I actually hate gacha games.
Like, I don't know. It's addictive in a bad way, obviously. But I think it has its place. Like, it's just, like, as long as you use it as something to just waste time on. Like say for example, Pokemon Masters, I said like, oh, those packs are cheap. It's like, not really. I mean, realistically, it was about, what I spent was about half the price of a AAA game.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
To get those beginner packs. And to me, it's like, that's not that much, but it's like, that's because a precedent has been set that that's not that much. In reality, what the fuck? why would you spend that much on something that is just like a digital item in a game that's not even, it just doesn't make sense. At least with like we talk about CS a lot. At least with CS, if you like decide to invest in like skins or whatever, those actually have monetary value as long as the Steam market stays up. You can actually sell those for Steam inventory, like what's the words? Balance, like the coins, which you can actually use to buy video games, or like if you want to go to like a third party thing, you just buy, you just get money, get actual money for it. I'm not suggesting that's like a good way things should be, but it's better than just losing everything.
Yeah, true.
Weird times.
Very weird times.
It's very hard to pinpoint exactly, you know, what games I should be playing, what games I want to be playing, how I want to be playing them. But I think for me, gacha games, it's like if I'm gonna play one properly again, I gotta find my Cinderella.
Ooh, fair enough.
Like it's gotta be legit. I'm not messing about anymore. Like if they release like a new Jump game and it's like it's trash, if it's like Jump Tyson or whatever, I'm not playing that shit. I'm not gonna force myself to get involved with that. There was one I was gonna check out that's like the Jump MOBA, and I may still check that out because I've never actually played a MOBA before. I don't know if I'll like it or not. Probably not, but I want to at least give that one a go. But if I see another like shitty 3D jump like mobile gacha game, I most likely will not be playing it.
Respect. See, Robert's getting older, he's getting wiser, he's learning from past mistakes.
Yeah, well, mistakes is right.
Trial and error is everything, Robert.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And you know what? So I think I can't even remember how we got to this subject, but basically I think it was something about content on the channel.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're just going to try some really cool new stuff and hope it works.
And you're all going to love it.
Well, we'll see. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of things we want to try. And at least we just do this for fun. We don't make money off of this. Technically, we have received money from YouTube, but we've spent far more than we've received.
Very bad investment.
So, you know, it's fine. It's just for fun. And as long as we're having fun, it's okay. And that might include gacha games. You know what they say about gambling? When the fun stops, stop. So the fun might stop at some point, and then we will stop. But until then, yeah, fuck it.
You know what? Positive. I like that.
You know, you gotta be positive sometimes. Sometimes.
Just after we upload this video, we never upload again. It's like, oh shit, stopped already.
No. We will. I mean, the plan for this video was that we would record it as like one whole thing, and part 1 will be on one channel and part 2 will be on the other channel. So if everything has gone to plan, that will have happened. You will be experiencing that, and we might do some more sort of wacky crossovers between the channels. But I think UCHD, you will most likely see unoriginal content, and we're going to try and make some original content on OCHD.
Hell yeah.
It's kind of weird because that definitely started out as a meme
Joke.
name.
Yeah.
It wasn't meant to be original, but you know what? Fuck it. We're here now. Let's see what happens.
Just own it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, technically it's not going to be original because, I mean, like, that's just the nature of things. But it's going to be new for us, and it's going to be different. And who knows? Maybe you'll enjoy it. Like, a few YouTubers I've been watching recently, it's like, I've realized that they've been on the platform, like, about as long as us, and they're, like, only recently getting any sort of traction and finding what they want their content to be and making good content. And I thought, yeah, like, you just keep going at it and it either works or it doesn't, but you can't limit yourself to like just one thing. I think that's a really bad way of looking at things. If we say we're just going to do this, it's not going to work. So just be open, and if something starts working, then maybe we double down on it. But until then,
milk.
Until then, we're just gonna do what we can do. So anyway, I think I've been waffling. So should we talk about some of the stuff we actually enjoyed in 2023?
We should. Should we also end part 1 here and just go to part 2?
You know what? Good idea. That's the end of part 1. Check out part 2. Link in the description on UCHD, and we'll see you over there.
See you in a bit.